first, just heading into the weekend, obviously we've got that winter storm on
Yeah.
the way. What, as of right now, Friday, would you say that the main conditions that we could see pop up?
Well, as of about an hour ago or so, so early Friday morning, ice storm watches have went out for kind of our most populated counties. So Hamilton County, Bradley County are all under ice storm watches at this time. So the main impact we have to watch for heading towards Saturday will be freezing rain, sleet, snow, and ice accumulation. So that could total anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of ice, and that is a lot of ice for us to deal with. So that's why power outages will still be a concern. Down trees, that will weigh tree branches down with that much ice, so trees could be falling down. And of course, hazardous travel conditions will be another big weather story for pretty much all of this weekend.
Right, and the Hamilton County Office of Emergency Management is preparing for some flash flooding chances on Sunday night. They've got some people on standby. As of right now, what do we know about the chances of seeing flash flooding?
So the risk for flash flooding definitely is there, especially Sunday, as you just mentioned. Heavier downpours will be possible beginning as soon as Saturday night, but exact timing of that will really just depend on when our temperatures rise back above freezing. The best chances of that happening as of Friday will be Sunday afternoon and through the rest of the evening hours on Sunday. But again, we could start to see some pockets of rain show up early Saturday nights and again into the overnight hours through Saturday nights into Sunday. So pretty much all day long Sunday, I would anticipate the risk for heavier downpours leading to flash flooding concerns. Of course, whatever moisture we do pick up on Saturday will of course soak into the ground, potentially depending on how cold the ground gets. But any leftover moisture heading into Sunday, adding to that, of course, does pose the risk for flash flooding.
Newly declared state of emergency for Tennessee. I guess first walk me through kind of what the County Office of Emergency Management, how you guys prepare for events of severe weather, in specifically this case, a winter storm.
Right. So first of all, when the governor declares a state of emergency, what is involved with that? Well, this allows the governor to assume direct operational control over all and any part of emergency management functions within the state of Tennessee. So if Hamilton County is exhausted from our resources and capabilities, then Hamilton County can receive the state support with additional resources and manpower if needed. So this allows us also to make emergency purchases needed during an emergency without getting bids or quotes for any kind of purchasing items needed. So, we have been, as far as our office and our supporting agencies within the city and county have been meeting every day since Tuesday to plan for this winter weather arriving this weekend. So every day when we meet, the weather seems to change every day. So that changes our planning. So with those concerns, we've had the up and down of temperatures during this time. So what does that mean? Are we still looking at snow? Obviously, we know snow is out of the question. But our main concern now is ice and freezing rain. And then, of course, it turning into rain where we could get some flash flooding. And with that being said, and it's this storm is so unorganized for us, is it's just we plan for the best or we plan for the worst and hope for the best. So all week we continue to remind our community, which we've been doing since Tuesday, the importance of getting prepared for the winter weather. What kind of winter weather? We're still just letting everyone know, no matter what kind of winter weather we are going to receive, we need to go ahead and suspect that we're going to have some power outages. If we do have the accumulation of ice, we do know that we're going to have trees that come down. And when trees come down, they take power lines down with them as well. So this is the time where we have been telling everybody for the last couple of days to go ahead and plan ahead. If you have those additional heating sources, great. We want you to make sure that if you're going to use kerosene heaters or propane heaters to heat your house, if the electricity goes out, to make sure that the room is ventilated. And if you are, and you have working carbon monoxide alarms working. Generators need to be placed outside the homes because the fumes can come into the home and either can make you very, very sick or can actually cause death. And we have seen that in the past. Also, make sure that you have that emergency kit ready to go. Flashlights, extra batteries, a fully charged portable charger for your cell phones, iPads, food, water, bottled water for everyone, and pet food. And then, a lot of people don't realize they need to make sure that they put their medications in there, because if they leave their house and need to go stay at a family's house or a friend's house that has electricity, they could just pack up and take the whole thing with them. And it's just easier when you're in that state of panic that you forget something in the past. So this is why it's so important now. Just go ahead and plan ahead. Another thing is we expect this weekend, a matter of what time, we're just going to say between Saturday and Sunday, that we expect the roads, the bridges, the overpasses will likely become slick and hazardous. So if you could stay off the roads and you don't have to go anywhere, we highly recommend it. But if you do have to, and a lot of us have necessary job responsibilities, that you give yourself at least 30 minutes ahead of time. Give yourself an extra 30 minutes to get to your final destination. So you're not having to rush, that you're not having to speed, because if you do come up on some black ice or any kind of ice on the bridges and you slam on your brakes by accident, you either cause harm to yourself or harm to others as well. So it's just a matter of planning ahead and using common sense. This is the time to prepare. All of our local media outlets have been talking about it all week. The problem is the weather just continuously changes by every hour on the hour. And the problem is we don't have a direct connection with Mother Nature. It's just, our meteorologists are working around the clock. They're the experienced ones. They're trying to give out the correct information. And it has been hard. I know, because our plans change when the weather changes. And that has to do with extra additional resources needed. The EPB, they're bringing in almost 100 additional personnel to strategically place throughout the county to make sure that if the lights go out, that they get those lights back on as soon as possible. We know it's going to be cold. We know that it's going to be a concern. However, with us planning 4 or 5 days in advance, we are expecting, things to be hairy at times, but we have the additional personnel and the resources needed to, try to get everything back up and running. We've had TVA at all our meetings. We've had all the hospitals. We have all of our emergency service personnel. We've had education there to decide on, the schools in the next couple of days. We have Public Works, Highway Department, just everybody that is a part of our Emergency Operations Center. Our main goal is to try to get our community back to a sense of normalcy if something happens or a threat. As far as the lights go out, we have our gas and water companies that are going to be there as well in the event that we have major pipes that are broken, because we're going to get down into single digits. So, that's a big concern for us coming into the next week. Even though it might be warm on Sunday to where we're going to have a lot of rain, on the backside of all that rain is that cold, cold, cold temperatures. So, this is where another way to decide on whether or not you need to really venture out. If it's raining at your house, check your phone. See what temperature it is at your house. If it's below 32, you need to think that, that's probably going to have some ice in the area of where we are. So if you've got to venture out, assume that your steps to your house are going to have ice on it, that your driveways are going to have ice on it, that your cars are going to have ice on it, and then driving on the roads. There's a chance that you're going to have ice on it. So, plan ahead. It's better to be proactive than reactive. We try to tell everybody that all the time. So we just want everybody to play it smart. We want everybody to arrive safely if they do have to get out, and stay home if possible to avoid any kind of injuries that can be avoided.
And, when you say that the weather, has been continuously changing as you guys have been monitoring it, it kind of makes me think back to, I know you guys used AI tools to help with flood mapping and response to flash flooding. With this weather being ever evolving and changing, have you guys been able to utilize any sort of AI prediction tools or anything of that nature to kind of help stay on top of it?
We have, ever since we had that flash flooding that occurred in the area of East Brainerd on the interstate, was just something that we have never seen before in August. And of course, it didn't help that that flash flooding occurred in flood prone areas. I mean, it's just the worst of all worst that happens. But we do have those AI predictions, and we have been working with GIS to see what flash flooding would occur and those areas that would be flooding first. And that's going to probably more than likely be the East Ridge area and parts of the East Brainerd area that are going to see that, mainly because a lot of the creeks and those rivers surround those areas. And, but we have those additional resources. We have what's called the Tri-State Mutual Aid Team, and is a robust of over 200 agencies that are a part of it. And they also have many resources that have those swift water rescue, which we actually activated it during the flash flooding events. But yes, we are using those AI programs to start using, and they have been a tremendous help.
If there were to be a risk of flash flooding after all of this winter storm that we see, you guys would be prepared to respond.
That's correct. So we've actually had a lot of those mutual aid chiefs in these meetings as well, to start planning in the event that a flash flooding event does occur, that we have been in contact with all of those additional agencies that have those swift water rescue teams ready and on standby on Sunday evening when that flash flood threat could occur here in Chattanooga and Hamilton County.
And for the people just living in Hamilton County, as far as the Office of Emergency Management goes, what sort of resources or information do you have for them that they can access ahead of like a weather event like we're seeing this weekend?
Well, we have our website, which everybody can go to. It's hamiltonready.org. But we also have an emergency notification system that we use in the event that there is a threat to our community. So in any time that we see, if we have any kind of flash flooding that is starting to be reported with our local field personnel out in the county, they will actually call 911. There is a road closure list that 911 will provide to our community, and we will share that link so that before they venture out, they can see if those roads are going to be closed or unpassable. And especially if those roads are flooded, you need to expect, you don't know the depth of those waters. You've seen the videos of all these cars that have been submerged. It takes just inches of water for your car to be overtaken by it. And we don't want that to happen. And we don't want to put our first responders at risk as well, to have to save your life if it could have been prevented. So, there are so many ways that people can be using, whether it's our website or sign up for our emergency notifications. It's on the very front page of our website. It'll say sign up for alerts. We will send out that if we feel that there is a threat to our community. And they ask, well, why do we have to put our address? Well, we do that so that we can personalize a certain area. If you live in East Brainerd and there's a threat, there's no reason to send it out if you live in Hickson. so that we can pinpoint those areas. We have used it twice already for missing persons. We've had an elderly person and a missing child. And by pinpointing the area that they were last seen and what they were wearing, helps everybody to be vigilant and to be out looking if they see them out, they're driving around in that area. And we were able to find those people within 30 minutes. So we know it works. So we just ask everybody to please sign up for our emergency notifications because it will inform you of anything that could potentially be coming. And it's not just for weather. It's for, if we have an active shooter event, we sent it out when we had it at Chattanooga State to avoid the area. Or if you're at Chattanooga State, to shelter in place and lock the doors. So, we've used them for evacuations as well, where we had the tractor trailers that overturned with the hazardous materials, where we had to shelter in place for a certain area. So that we just ask everybody to be proactive and plan ahead for you and your family, because when that panic mode comes in, all you need to do is just pick up that to-go kit and go and stay at somebody's house until, everything gets back to a sense of normalcy.
Is there anything that we haven't talked about, or maybe something I didn't ask you that you think would be good for people to know ahead of this weekend?
No, but we know that all of our local media outlets have really been working around the clock, and we appreciate it very much. And we're all working together to try to give the best information that we can provide. And I know a lot of people were wanting snow, and I get it, but we don't have that direct connection with Mother Nature, and they have their own sense of what they're wanting to do and provide us with that kind of weather. So in other words, we're just ready and to respond if anything is needed to provide our community and get it back to a sense of normalcy.
All right. Thank you, Amy, for your time and also for you guys' work on the preparation side of things.
Yeah, you're welcome. Take care. Have a great weekend. Hope it's,
Yeah, I hope it's great. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, thanks.
So whenever we have these winter storms or weather events where there could be a power outage of some sort, some sort of lasting effects thereafter, we do have the weather alert radios. Obviously, that's something Storm Track 9 is big fans of. Could you just kind of talk a little bit about how that could help you in a situation like this weekend?
Yeah, well, of course, your weather radio will be your best friend during any severe weather event. So it does come with a little cord to plug into the wall, and we usually recommend you doing that all year round. You do put batteries in it, but the batteries are in there just in case the power does go out. You can still get your alerts even if the power does go out. Of course, we recommend changing those like you change a smoke alarm detector, but also downloading the Storm Track 9 app, making sure alerts are turned on, your location is turned on as well. Of course, you can watch us here at News Channel 9. We'll of course be keeping you updated on that as well, but we always recommend having more than one way to receive alerts from the National Weather Service so you can make sure you are taking action as soon as that watch or warning does get issued.
And as far as weather events go, is there any type that is left out of those alerts, or it really going to cover everything?
It will cover everything. Now, if you go into the settings, which are kind of tricky to get to, you can maybe turn some of them off. I know they also put amber alerts out on this as well. That's something you can maybe turn off if, say, for example, that's not something you want. Maybe you don't want other alerts as well. You can turn those off, but they come on automatically, so you don't have to worry about turning them on or worrying if a certain alert isn't going to go off.
Mm-hmm. So just a quick final recap of what we could be seeing this weekend. Some chances of ice, some chances of precipitation. What would be your advice for people heading into the weekend?
So all precipitation types will be possible heading into this weekend. Rain, sleet, ice, freezing rain, snow. All of that is on the table for all of us area-wide. We've been telling everyone all week long to prepare ahead of time, so making sure that you have extra warm blankets in case if the power goes out, your phone is charged, you have new batteries in the smoke alarm. Of course, making sure you have non-perishable food items and water, again, just in case if the power does go out. Check on your family members, check on your neighbors, make sure that everyone is ready to go ahead of this weekend system.